have your resume, right? I'll have your resume and I'll tweak it according to the requirement. Do you know that anybody who has 1.5 years of experience would have a skill set very unique to the market, and he can pitch his competency to a market which is looking for it. I get requests from people, so many people, to recommend candidates for their requirement. Everybody asks whether I know somebody. Today itself, somebody asked me whether I know somebody whose CV can be pitched for a bid. So I told them, why don't you pitch my CV? Why don't you include my CV in that bid? So that is just an example that I am saying that people need recommendations from somebody who has worked with that particular person. Can you recommend somebody with whom you haven't worked at all? So how do I know? Because it is not possible that everybody would have worked with me at some place or other. So what I am proposing is, please come and join my coaching, mentoring for 6 months so that I can outline your strength. And I recommend accordingly, right? So if you would work with me for say 6 months, I would be knowing you for 6 months, right? And I would outline whatever strengths you have, whatever experiences you have, and then I can recommend you to the relevant jobs. Can you see that? Are you able to see my point? If any of us is having a comment, then it will be great. If you want some clarification. So what I do is I have created some tests, some frameworks. So first thing I'll do is I'll ask you to take some tests, right? Then I'll test your attitude by training you on time management and what are your basic goals are coming. If you are part of my time management team, from your questions, your responses, and from the choice of words, I know what kind of a person you are and where you will be right fit. Can you see what I am trying to say? So each of us has some strength and some weaknesses. Would you agree to that? So the strengths, according to that, I will recommend. But if you have a weakness, it also is a altered strength that you can have. Right? So I'll elaborate that on the master class that we will be having. If you book a one-to-one call with me, then I'll explain what does that mean to have an altered strength, and you can use your strength, your altered strengths, your skills, your potential, and your experience, and create competencies tools. Somewhere or other, you have used your experience, your skill sets to create some results, right? So I'll take the help of those results and I'll create competency stories. Initially, stage 1, some of you are too much interested to get a job. So I also understand this. Because when you are not doing a job, you would have a lot of stress in your life and too much of pressure on you to start earning. So once you are into it, see, people are looking for competent persons, competent candidates. And if you are so, I am pretty sure that you will prove yourself to be competent in something or other. That is my understanding so far. So far I have trained so many people and have worked with so many people. And whenever I assess somebody, that is a very, I assess correctly. I have a confidence, you can say. So I know I can assess you correctly. So for that, you have to pay the initial price to get into my training, wherein the result is to get into a job. So after the job you are not going to pay, so initially you need to pay to get into my training. And then what you do is, you can take, like say, once you are into a job, you look for a promotion, right? Because if you are not growing in that position, again you will be, either you will be without a job soon, or you will not be given a promotion, which will again frustrate you. So this is a cycle, each of us. Till there is no job, we will look for a job. Once the job is there, we will look for a promotion. Once that promotion is there, we will look for 3xing our salary. These are cycles, and each of the cycles needs to be countered with sufficient action plan, right? So that is what I will do. For that you need competency stories. Why you are competent for the post that you are looking, aspiring for. And the HR person, the recruiter, is looking for that competency in you. And who will tell about your competency? You, right? So you should know to tell something and not appear as somebody who is cheating. You need to know your competency story properly. So that is what I am saying. If you have 4 strength, if you have 4 altered strength, if you have 2 skills, then it makes it 10. Then whatever aptitude you have, that makes it, suppose you have 1 aptitude, that makes it 11. And suppose you have experience of something, right? That makes it 30. Easily one can make 1,000 stories of that. So each story, when I write, it has to be crafted, right? It has to be crafted so that you know the first person who should be convinced about this story is you. So once you are convinced about that story, that conviction you need to have, because it will be all your experience, all your strength, and all your altered strength and your skills. But if I ask you to tell about you, you will have at best 3 stories about whatever you have done, right? And you will repeat the story again and again. You cannot bring a newness to that story. Can you see what I am saying? So that newness I can bring out. How I will bring out? By talking to you. So what I will do is, every week I will get into a Zoom call, or I up the phone and call you, and we can go on talking. During the talk, I'll ask some questions, and you will answer them, whether you have done that or not. Right? So, that will help me craft a realistic story for you. Once that realistic story is ready, there will be another problem, like whether you should describe the same thing or not. Whether you should describe. It is quite possible that you haven't at all thought about that aspect at all. You haven't done with that thing in mind. People love visions. So what vision you should have with your existing stories, existing competencies, and existing mindset? Definitely, it requires to be known, right? So initially, I'll tell the story, I'll create the story, and I'll tell you, I'll train you to internalize it, and then you will have thousands of questions on that. I'll reply to those questions, and with that you will form your conviction, and once that conviction is formed, then you can tell those stories easily. And the other person, the recruiter, what that person wants from you, that person is interested in how you can serve them. Right? So, if you can answer their questions, they will have several kind of questions. We are doing this, and this. So how do you think that you can serve us with whatever experience you have? That will be the usual question in an interview, right? They will first ask you, tell about yourself, how was your last job? Some technical questions might be, if there is some. And lastly, this question will come. And this question is a decider question. A decider question, where you will tell as to how you think that you are going to help them. Mind you, they also don't know how anybody can help them. It is a hypothetical question altogether. But they will see your proactiveness in dealing with that question. Because in life, in a workplace situation, anywhere you go, we cannot expect everything to happen according to our expectation, right? Many things happen all of a sudden out of nowhere. So how do we deal with those situations? We deal with those situations because of our prior experience with something else. But we bring that wisdom into acting to counter this particular emergency. So if we know some of the emergency where our competency will be useful, then that is what we can describe. And it will, trust me, it always impresses the recruiter when you are talking from a perspective which has not happened yet. And they would love you to talk more about it. And that will open up their imagination as well. When those people are taken into a journey where you are dealing with some vision, a big vision which is a thing of future, which is not yet such a thing, if you have outlined such a thing, there is a chance that that thing will happen, right? They might outrightly reject that because you are a new person to that environment, and they might have dealt with similar situations before, but for you it might be new. Suppose there is a match, the way they have dealt with that situation, or you have a better situation right now you are presenting, with which you can save more. Now that interests the recruiter. So whatever I am discussing out here is all hypothetical. But the interviewer, the more you talk about vision, the more you impress the recruiter. Because they will know that you are a resilient person. Your resilience proves with a talk of vision. Do you realize that? And the person who can think through an emergency, a hypothetical emergency, is a very good planner. He is good at strategy. Planning and strategy are two things very, very uncommon. And if you can prove your mettle about handling such things without getting perplexed or puzzled or nervous about such situations, then you win your battle. You win over the recruitment, the interview, all the people in the interview board, and you create your first impression, which is a huge impression. A person with vision doesn't talk cheap. He doesn't talk cheap. So a person who is talking high is a person well respected, and you increase the possibility of your recruitment to multifold probability of getting recruited. Now, between the interviewers in the interview board, there will be several people, say 4 to 5 people. Quite possible that one or two of them would have some other person in mind. So what they will do is they will start asking very difficult or very reactive kind of questions to you, so that they will try to unsettle you, irritate you, so that you start reacting. Once you get reactive, then you lose your composure, you lose your dignity, and you lose your battle. So you should also know how to tackle those people. Right? How to tackle those people. Should be pretty calm. Who is calm? Who is very sure of himself or herself? A person who knows. A person who accepts life's uncertainty. A person who accepts all kind of person. Who can just duck those unsettling questions. Those are bouncers. And that also requires a lot of training. Training of mindset to act cool without getting reactive. You should be innocently answering their questions. They might be irritating you, but you remain to your baseline of remaining calm and composed. What else? You can ask for support. You can ask for their support. So a person who is throwing bouncers at you, hurling bouncers at you, when you make yourself on earth and surrender to their attack, asking them to support you and protect you, they are always giving. They always, no matter how much they would love to have their own person, but right now they will develop a weak corner for you, soft corner for you. Would you like to have that? How would you have? For that also you need some training, right? That is mindset issue. Then the third thing is about your written and communication skill. Anybody who has 1,000 stories to tell will not have any communication or confidence skill. Confidence or communication skills issue. He will be very confident in whatever words he tries to express himself. Maybe the words will repeat. Maybe you are not using a very stylish or fashionable word, but you are expressing yourself genuinely. Genuine expression is very simple expression, and anybody can figure out that. So that issue is gone. Now what remains? You can ask me, right? Now if you are watching this video, you ask me as to what else issues you have faced. What I can assure you is, if you have a right kind of mindset, these problems can be overcome. In getting a job is not a problem. And then to get into a job that is 3 times your salary, that gives you 3 times your salary, you need to increase some of the competencies. A person who is a good student will always learn, and he will learn quick. If I say something and if you start implementing, that is the sign of a good student. You can learn well and you can 3x your salary. But if you are stuck, your mindset is rigid, then you will not even hear out whatever I am saying. It will not strike you. That is how I know whether you are a good student or bad student. How much time you are going to take in learning. If you are not at all learning, then you don't qualify for this thing. You better sit at home and try your luck. Only God knows how you will get helped. So I am not looking for this to miss out when I am saying something. If you repeatedly miss out, there is a clear signal to me that you have a rigid mindset. And I should warn you from before you. If that is so, you will not take any value from it. I'll not be able to give any value. I'll not be in a position to recommend you to anyone. So that is the deal. If you like to be mentored by you, then you can book a call in Calendly and we can get on with the well I know that what kind of person you are, and I can recommend you properly, appropriately.